Stephen McCraney is joining me. He's Executive Director at Mississippi Emergency Management. It's great to meet you. Thanks for coming on with me today. Can I call you Mac? Everybody seems to call you Mac.
Everybody calls me Mac. If you call the office, ask for Stephen. He's not there. So that's the way we rock with that.
I was talking to Rhino off air at the beginning of the show, and he told me that there's some possible flood warnings that could be in effect for the next couple of days. State's kind of been reeling from storms for the past couple of months, which, I mean, let's be honest, it's spring in the South. This is going to happen from time to time.
Absolutely.
How concerned are you about the new storms coming through?
You know, we look at everybody preps for certain things at certain times of the year, whether it's the end of the SEC going into play. So April and May is our 2 months of spring weather. I mean, that is when the majority of our disasters have occurred. 19 in April and 11 in May, and then as soon as we get out of May, we roll down into August, September, October, and we know what comes at that time of the year, the hurricanes. So we've had a real good results of the Mississippi River. We've been chasing it since April the 2nd. Through the 6th, we had some severe thunderstorms in North Mississippi and Tennessee and everywhere else, and that just kind of filled the funnel and shot that water down the Mississippi River. But right now, the records that we reached, people are very, very well in tuned with it in Warren County, Greenville, Natchez, and we've had some great outcomes from that so far. So we still got some capacity. I don't want to test, and Mother Nature might want to test us, but I don't want to test it. But severe weather, these are the months. Be ready for that transitional type of severe weather that could get you a tornado at almost any moment, severe weather, hail, you name it.
And just as we get out of the spring storms, it's hurricane season. And I want to talk about FEMA's response to some of the storms that we've had so far this year. But let's start off with Hurricane Preparedness Week and how this week's priorities may differ from past years and how you prepare the state for the storm season.
Yeah, it's we've already started our training. We probably had last year we had 12 training events for just hurricane season, and that is where you pull everything out of your tackle box. When you go fishing, you go, man, I wish I would have checked this before I went out on the boat, because now I don't have that lure that I need. So as we do that, we've already done that with the Mississippi National Guard. My team has traveled to Georgia to Region 4 FEMA. We're doing logistics, make sure we've got all that together, make sure we've got the water, the food, the pumps, anything, sandbags that we might need for this upcoming season. We'll continue with our partners in Mississippi, the emergency management directors down at the county level, and the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. So it's a consistent. We've even had a training session with our Business Emergency Operations Center, bringing all those business partners in the state of Mississippi that are well entwined as to what they provide the public each and every day. So it's just a continuous each and every year, making sure you've got everything you need for when Mother Nature decides that one's coming in. And we don't necessarily have the crosswinds we had last year. You know, last year we had a lot of hurricanes that were kind of coming our way, but they just got chewed apart. So we're looking at a little bit less reliability on that this year. So I'm not asking for one, but we are going to be prepped and ready, and we'll be ready to move at a moment's notice.
I actually did not look at the predictions for this hurricane season, but they have not been accurate for the last few years. But what are you planning for? What are you possibly expecting this season?
You know, they call it 18 possible that'll be out there. 11 will be hurricanes, and 5 will be major. But as the past has taught us, one. All it takes is one for it to get inside, and I'm actually going down to the coast here in a few days to at the Ground Zero Museum, and we're going to talk to people in that community to tell them to be ready. And my biggest thing is we've got a lot of new citizens in the state of Mississippi. A lot of them that have moved to the coast, moved to those areas that could be impacted dramatically. And that is the segment of the population I really want to get in touch with. Is one that's never, I don't want to say ride out a hurricane, but you've never been through one. Talk to you, and I get the neighbors, I get the citizens that are there. Talk to the newbies. Talk to the new ones that have moved in, that just love the state of Mississippi, and they wanted to move here and stay here. Let them know what that looks like, and also to have a plan for your family. know where you're going to meet up. Know whose number is going to be the one that kind of takes that tally. Everybody's okay until you can come back into the area, because I remember Katrina, we shut it down for a long time, not letting anybody back into the communities, et cetera. And you've got to have that plan. And if you've got a pet, there are pet shelters out there, because a lot of people stay home because they can't bring their pets to a shelter. Hey, we've got them all over the state now, so make that plan early and get ready to take care of your neighbors, your elderly, your family. If you know those things, 3 things are good, it's going to be a better event.
You know, Mac, you talk about the big one. It is 20 years since Katrina.
Yes.
I was not there for Hurricane Katrina, although I've been back, and you still see the scars
Absolutely.
left from Katrina on the Gulf Coast, and historic landmarks, places that I loved going to high school on the coast are gone. I did live through and worked through in radio during George's and Elena and a number of other storms that hit the coast. But it seems like the state, and it seems like many people who live along the coast, have taken a different approach to storms, especially since Katrina, because of how massive that storm was. Right. Many of us who normally would have rode it out on the coast, maybe south of the tracks, are now saying, I'm getting going to get out of there.
Yeah, it's almost like that pothole you hit in the road. When it's way back there in your rearview mirror, you say you don't think about it as much, but that needs to resonate with everyone on the coast. Remember how tough those times were during Katrina. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Everybody who survived it, hey, we're here to make smart choices. Unfortunately, we have a lot of folks that didn't survive that storm. So make sure you, your family, your pets, everything that you've got. Look at the simple thing is medication. Do you have 7 to 14 days? I mean, we're going to bring in, if necessary, if it is tragic enough, we'll bring in the small pharmacies to be able to try to get you new stuff. But at least have your prescription bottle with you. Be ready to survive. We always say the first 72 is on you. Well, that's kind of good, but Ed, but the reason that's there is because about the first 24 to 36 hours, first responders, MEMA, and others, we're trying to do life safety. We're trying to respond out there. And there's a point in time, and I remember it being a first responder, the worst time of your life is when you get locked down because the winds are too high, almost like electrical crews. You can't get out there and do that thing that you want to do. You've been trained, because you might lose that fire truck. You might lose that other emergency response vehicle that you just can't replace. You can't get those things quickly, and life of a first responder. So we're itching to go. We're itching to get out there. But that's the reason we're trying to say that first 72 hours, about half of it's going to be burned up. We're trying to locate folks. We're trying to make those contacts and get them in a safe place.
So as you're planning, Mac, what do you recommend for people, especially on the coast, as they're planning how they may evacuate the coast? Do you recommend going inland, which could also be hit pretty hard by storms, as far north as certainly Hattiesburg and Meridian, but all the way up to Jackson and beyond?
Absolutely. Hattiesburg's population probably almost triples to quadruples. We send extra law enforcement down there to help in that city, and we're trying to push them further north. One, because the actual internal road system and everything else, when you quadruple that, and then we're actually making a plan with the energy providers, the fuel providers, that if you turn all the lanes north, then we've got to have another route to get down there to try to fuel those fuel stations and everything else. We've practiced this. We've got it on paper. We know what we're going to do. We know the extra time it's going to take the back road, so to speak, to be able to get to those locations. So we would rather people come further north. But then again, we'll actually start advertising that out. I mean, I'm watching these things as soon as something crops up. Maybe it's coming off the coast of Africa. We're watching them right then, and then we're waiting to see if any more dust-ups happen. But we're going to let you know if that thing is pushing across Mississippi and then going to go Louisiana, Texas type. I'm not going to tell you to go that way. I'll tell you east or west. It just depends upon which direction it's going to go. But have a simple plan in place. Here's my destination. This is where I'm going. Get your reservations. If you have pets, you need to come. I mean, we had a couple of years ago, we had, I think, a horse, cow, and a goat at the trademark up there at the fairground. I'm like, what the heck we do with a goat? Well, the goat was actually
Goat's going to be fine.
The goat was a good animal for the horse that was actually there. They were partners, so they had to go together.
That's a Disney movie in the making.
Absolutely,
Mac, stick around
absolutely.
for another second. The advice I take away from this is if you live on the coast, make sure you have friends in like Nashville or Birmingham or Atlanta, somewhere you can go for a few days.
Yeah, it's almost like
Stephen
Christmas
McCraney,
weekend. Yeah, go stay for 3
Mississippi
days.
Emergency Management. Let's talk about response and reaction to the tornadoes and maybe get into some insurance considerations as well. Middays with Gerard. I'm Scott Sands on SuperTalk Mississippi. Stephen McCraney, Mac, is joining us from Mississippi's Emergency Management Office. We were talking about Hurricane Preparedness Week, and this question is about hurricanes, but kind of leads into follow-up on FEMA's response to the tornadoes in Walthall County.
Right.
I know MEMA is encouraging homeowners to review insurance policies before hurricane season. You got any advice on what to ask about for adequate coverage, especially in some of the more flood-prone areas?
Yeah, you need to definitely have a copy of your policy. If you leave town, take it with you. That gives you the contact numbers to be able to get those individuals out there very quickly. And of course, we'll formulate a team and an area, kind of like we did in past disasters, and we'll create a point where everyone can go to if we get that type of event to the level of a hurricane. So just looking at what we've done though on the coast from Katrina, I mean, if you look at a Cat 1 storm would have shut the coast down for days, weeks, everything else. Now we've after Katrina, it's kind of like a testimony. I mean, we've rebuilt that area where the only cars that you get to see off other news media floating in the bottom of a casino or out of state cars. I mean, we know to park on the second, third, and fourth floor of the facilities down there, and
that should come with a welcome kit if you're moving to the coast for the first time.
If you're coming down there, don't go park in the garage. Park up in the garage, and so it's but it's a testament that within about 24 hours, all the businesses are back open. I mean, we've built up high. We built them on stilts. We've fortified them. Put a lot of mitigation money into the coast, the roads, and everything else. So it's just a dynamic opportunity to look at what does good look like when you have an opportunity of Katrina, which is so devastating, but to rebuild it back better, build it back, make it more resilient. Whether it's the water system, sewer treatment, electrical. And by getting those businesses to do the same thing to raise up. If you go down there and look at the Shark's Mouth, where you go and get stuff, nothing's on the first floor. It's all on the second floor. And it just makes good sense to do that, to harden those things. So look at that insurance policy. If you pick one out today, you probably know it's about 60 or 90 days away before it's going to be in effect. There's going to be waivers on there. Make sure you read the fine print. Make sure you know what you're insuring, whether it's an out property, a building, what is the contents in that. So just a good full review with your insurance agency to really know, okay, if I lost the grand piano that was passed down through my family for years and years and years, is that covered? And well, probably not. You just need to know the things you need to know, and know what you're getting and what you're looking at coming back to.
So how is MEMA collaborating with FEMA and other federal agencies, National Weather Service, to get ready for hurricane season, but also the tornadoes and severe storms that come through the state? Yeah,
well, I'll just ring a bell on the insurance department. Mike Cheney, he and I are working together, whether it's the Storm Act that they're rebuilding roofs, trying to tie those things in harder. The insurance company, his office, we're hand in hand, whether it's floodplain, we work together on that. We just got cross-filter through a lot of things, because when disasters happen, a lot of insurance is involved. And he's got an open mic, and his folks come over to the office, and we're staying on top of what does good look like, a response from the insurance side to our citizens of the state of Mississippi, and we don't want to leave anybody out. We open up call centers, the whole 9 yards. So if you just be ready for any type of disaster right now. I mean, it is that time of the year, it's that time of the season as we roll through our spring severe weather. It is on us as we speak. It will be here tomorrow, be sporadic, but somebody's probably going to get some tough straight line wind that can be worse than a small tornado sometimes. I mean, everything's not built to withstand that.
Well, Mac, you talk about not wanting to leave anybody behind. It's now been a month since Governor Reeves requested a major disaster declaration for the March tornadoes in Walthall County.
Right.
Any update on the status review from FEMA, and is there a timeline on when we might expect to see an approval or denial?
Yeah, well, I like to tell people, I'm big on looking behind, see what happens, see how we progress through to the future, and our average on a federal declaration, it doesn't matter what president was in office, it doesn't matter what party might have been in charge at any given time. Probably the soonest I've gotten one was 24 days, and the max was about 37 days, and so I'm sitting right in the middle today, about 33 and a half to 34 days. And as we submitted our declaration, as the rules and regulations were and are to us out there, the Stafford Act is kind of what guides all of that. How do you apply for assistance? How do you get that assistance, and what does it look like? So our threshold is about 5.6, almost 5.7 million, and I'm 18.5 million in damages. I'm well above it. I mean, I'm 3 times higher than the threshold thereof, and our homes, 763 affected homes, 233 destroyed, 208 major damage. My individual assistance numbers look very good as well, and I hate for them to look that good. I wish I could struggle with it, but this one hit. We did the damage assessments rapidly with the local emergency managers that came and helped the ones that didn't. The ones that didn't get hit, they came and they helped those others to look at every one of those houses. If I say 763, there was an emergency manager from the local level, there was a MEMA person and a FEMA person that went to every one of those residents, and that's how we do it. And then we kind of look at, say, who's insured and who's not. That comes into play. But we that declaration request on March 14, 15 is a solid major declaration request from the governor of the state of Mississippi to the president of the United States. And I'm looking forward to the phone call any minute. If my watch goes off, we might time out for just a second. So I'm waiting for the phone call any minute for someone to tell me I've got that declaration. I'll be surprised.
But so many people, Mac, are getting frustrated at this point after more than a month has passed.
Absolutely.
Ben in Tylertown wants to know if there's an estimate on when all the debris will even be removed.
Yeah, that's about $4.9 million worth of debris. And as soon as we can, as soon as we get a declaration, that cost will be covered, and at the local level we'll be able to get that moving and started. And in the meantime, we do have our volunteer groups. I can't ring the bell for them enough.
I was actually about to ask about that because we're hearing great stories of the volunteers, the churches, the nonprofits. 8 Days of Hope, I saw a story about. Is that part of the plan now with MEMA to bridge the gap until federal aid is approved?
That has always been in our plan before, during, and after any storm, any type of disaster. We work with volunteer organizations after disasters. The Southern Baptist, they do a great job of cleaning up personal property, kind of getting that stuff to the edge of the road, and that's where we tell them to take it. And Cajun Navy came up and did some great things this year. They're awesome. So you've got to leverage those groups because I always say government is probably the fastest snail in the race, but that doesn't mean the snail wins the race. But the snail will be there for a long time, and so we work with those volunteer organizations. We have a joint training together. We have conferences together to who can come in at what time, so we can actually. Not everybody the first week, because then 3 weeks later you're still going to need some assistance. But then we're bringing the housing groups and others, and just leveraging at the local level as well. I tell people if you have an unmet need, call that local emergency management office in that county. If they don't have the volunteer group or whatever that can fill that void, then they're going to forward it up to me. We're on the same system where they put in a request, it goes straight into our office, somebody's looking at it right then.
So, Mac, I don't necessarily want to drag you into a political conversation here, but there's been conversations at a federal level about eliminating FEMA. Would you be able to respond faster if you didn't have that federal layer of bureaucracy, if the money was already in the state for you to disperse directly without having to go through the federal channels? Would MEMA do a better job of handling these crises?
That's a great question. I'm waiting on a federal declaration, but I'm also coordinating the response on a daily basis. Anything that there is a need for now. How this thing's going to look on the backside, who knows? I mean, the great thing about what happened to us during Katrina is the state government, governor, lieutenant governor, those times, they created a disaster trust fund that allowed us the mechanism to respond and go, and they can put more money into it. I can go into like COVID. We were very responsive during it, so I don't get a blank check, but I do need to know that we can run the lane. And I think in the future, whatever decision's made, we're going to come back to the state. I'll advise the governor, and we need to have a session to talk about maybe a state, heavily state-run program. We got to know what the rules are. Right now, the rules say I'm qualified for a federal declaration, and I'm waiting to receive it.
Mac, thanks for coming in. It's so nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Stephen McCraney, Mississippi Emergency Management. Follow them on all of the social medias and stay informed as we get ready for hurricane season in Mississippi. Scott Sands in for Gerard Gibbert on SuperTalk Mississippi.